Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back for another deck profile here. Now, I've been interested in this deck for a little while. It was funny because when I pulled all the secrets for this deck, I was like, this deck's fucking garbage. And then the Link 6 came out, and I saw like some of the plays with it, and I was just like, kind of like that again. So I fucking bought the deck, even though I sold the other shit when it was cheaper. Oh fuck! But that's how life goes in Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes. But anyways, so. This deck, I had a lot of fun with this deck. This is some deck that, like, I think makes you a better player. It's kind of like Infernity is my favorite deck. There's so many different lines of play in this deck that, like, sometimes you won't open the Achichi, and then you'll be like, oh, where do I go? But then you open Picari, and Picari's the same combo. Like, you can open either one, it doesn't matter. You just have to do it different. Or if you don't have access to Doshin, you can do it a different way. It's a whole thing. So, or, I mean, Doyon. Yeah, guys, without further ado, Ignisters. I am going to show, so I'm going to show two combos on this deck, because I'm actually really excited for this deck. I know this deck's been out for fucking a long time or whatever, but I'm going to show you a going first combo, and then a going second combo. The going second combo is 19,700 damage with just one Achichi, so it's pretty wild. But anyways, guys, let me get right on into it. Alright, so I'm playing 40 cards. This deck's really cool, too, because, like, you can play just the main deck engine and the engine requirements or whatever, and then you still have, like, 15, 20 cards to play with, so you just play hand traps, you can play strikes, you can play whatever. I'll go through this and explain. But, alright, so, first of all, 3 Achichi at Ignister. This card on normal or special summon adds a Ignister monster level 4 or lower from your deck to your hand. Also, it has an engrave effect that when to an Ignister, one of your Ignister monsters in your opponent's monster's battle, you can banish it from graveyard to destroy your own monster. Not really sure what that's relevant for. That's never come up, so there's that. But and then 3 Picari. This card's insane. So this card has there's so many things you can do with this card. So this is on normal or special summon. You can add a AI spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Also, it can target one other AI monster on your Ignister on your board and make it level 4. So that's pretty cool. It hasn't really come up that much. I think there was one time I made the Exceed in all the testing I've done. So, all right, and then the 2 Doyon. This card's insane. So I was originally playing one of this. This card's just too good not to play 2 of. I almost wanted to play 3, but 3 is just too much. So whenever this card's normal or special summon, you can add back one of your Ignister monsters from your graveyard to your hand. And then if it's used for a link material for a Cybers monster, you can add back one of your AI spell or traps from your graveyard to your hand, which is just insane. This card's just ridiculous. So only play 2 of it though, because it's not a starter. So and then for the one-ofs, I chose to play a little bit more names in this deck. Obviously, you play the 1 Baruru. So this card on normal or special summon, it's a Cybers tuner. So on normal or special summon, it sends a Ignister monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then if you synchro summon, so like this is a level 3, if you use like Picari, or if you use Picari to modulate a dude's level and then you synchro with it, it specials back one of the materials that was used for a synchro of a Cybers monster. So this card's insane, and you search it in the combo, so you only play 1. And then 1 Danmari. People think this is a brick. I actually haven't bricked on this card really yet, so it's kind of interesting. But this card, if 2 monsters if an Ignister monster battles, you can special summon this card from your hand and negate the battle. Or you can banish this. If you have a Link 6 monster, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard to negate an opponent's card effect. Card's very good. So. And then I'm playing the 1 Doshin. I'm actually playing 2 of the Earth ones. So playing 1 Doshin. This one, you can special summon itself without the AI land. So if you control an Ignister monster, you can just special summon this from your hand. It has another effect that has nothing to do because you don't play AI Fusion or whatever. So this is just a free extender. Plus it's the Earth. It's just nice. And then same with this one, the Gachari. This one, the Gatchari. This one has multiple effects. So while it's on the board, each time an Ignister monster is destroyed by card effect once, it is not. Also, if this card's in your hand, you can reveal it, target a Cybers monster, negate it, and then special summon it. And then when it leaves the board, it can target one of your dudes and make it unaffected by card effects for the rest of the turn. So this card's just very good. It's weird too, because like when I was researching this deck, people either play this one or they play this one. I saw like 1 or 2 lists we played both, and I was just like, well, I want to play with all the Ignister monsters and see what's up with it. So I just really like both, so I kept both because there's there's like I said, there's a bunch of room in this deck. So and then I do play hand traps, obviously. Playing 3 Nibiru's, 3 Phantasmes, and 3 Droll. So you can see this lineup that I play. So I want to clarify this again. You can pan up here, babe. So people are always like, oh, dude, like, why don't you play Ash? It's very simple, in my opinion. I know Ash is a good card. I'm not saying it's not a good card at all. Some formats I will play it. I just think that decks are so strong now that one Ash isn't really going to do a whole lot for you. That's just my opinion. You know, obviously you can just Ash something and then their hand bricks and blah, blah, blah. But with this deck, you know, you're fine. I just think cards are so strong nowadays. A 1-for-1 negate doesn't do enough. In my opinion, that's why I like cards like, you know, Phantasme fixes your hand into the Droll that covers the whole turn. Nibiru arguably covers the whole turn. Like, you can play Lancia because it covers the whole turn. Like, I like hand traps like that. I keep getting asked why I don't play Ash. I'm just not a huge fan of Ash. There is profiles on the channel, though, with Ash. So I just wanted to clarify that. So it's just my opinion, though. I'm not saying that's legit or anything. I mean, I've been Ash plenty of times, and it's been good enough. So I just don't like the card personally. So and that's it for the monsters. Now for the spells, the AI land. This card is just absolutely the bee's knees. So this card. Okay, so let me explain this card. This card does like 4,000 things. You can, when you have no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon a level 4 lower Ignister monster from your hand, you know, once, and then, you know, link it off, blah, blah, blah. You can only special summon that attribute with this effect once. So you can only special summon a fire from your hand once, a light from your hand once with this effect, a dark from your hand once with this effect. Okay? You're also locked into Cyber's cards, special summoning Cyber's even if this card leaves the board, and its third effect is if this card's in the graveyard, you can banish an Ignister monster and set it to your spell and trap card zone. So it just kind of just never goes away. This card's just really insane. That's why it's like $40 or something right now, which is kind of gross. But yeah, this card's insane. I'm not playing Terraforming or anything like that. This deck already kind of gets rolled a little bit, so you know. And then three of the Signet Mining. I mean, obviously this is staple. This is just kind of, you know, it's just Rhoda. This card, Rhoda, etc. And then this card is just also Signet Mining, so if you don't have to discard. So what this card does is it reveals a monster in your extra deck or your hand with 2,300 attack, and then searches a Ignister monster from your deck to your hand with that attribute. So when I go through the extra deck, I'll show you. And if you don't normal or special summon the monster you revealed for this effect, you take 2,300 damage at the end of the turn. That doesn't matter. This card's just ridiculous. So. And I'm playing 2 AI Reborn, so this is a quick play spell. It's nice to have it as a quick play spell because it can just special summon any Ignister monster. That's all it does, it just specials any Ignister monster. And then when 2 monsters battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard and 1 card from your hand to add an AI spell or trap from your banished or graveyard to your hand. So it's nice. I just thought 3 was a little much. I kept drawing multiples of it, and that's kind of where I am with this, with the 2 droplet. Like, I still think 2 droplet is just enough. Like, I'd probably put the 3rd in the side deck. But I just kept drawing 3, and obviously this whole deck is a 1-card combo, but I just think that's good enough. So yeah, so the two droplets, and then I play the 1 AI Contact. This card is just absurd. So this card, if you have AI land in your field spell zone, and you have an AI land in your hand, because sometimes that happens. There's actually been hands where I open like a Chi-Chi, I open 3 AI lands and then like a droplet, and I'm going first, and it was still full combo. But what this card does, if you have an AI land in your field spell zone and 1 in your hand, you play this, put the AI land from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and then you draw 3 cards. So it gives you 3 fresh cards. Sometimes in the combo, you'll actually search this if you have an AI land in your hand, and then just try and draw 3 more like hand traps, like Droll or, you know, something like that. So. And then the other 2 1-up spells, this is a 40-card deck, so I'm playing Upstart, obviously, and the 1 Call by the Grave. You just kind of have to play this, obviously. So, and then I'm only playing 3 traps, and it's just 3 Imperm. I think Imperm is very good. You know, it was funny because I was actually borrowing 2 of my friends because I sold my Imperms a little while ago, and then I bought one of the Europrint ones, and I was like, oh, I need 2 more Europrints, and then Tia, my girlfriend, found some of these like weird fucking 3-packs, whatever, and they had a Dupo in them, and she pulled 2, in perms. So I was like,
Back to back.
yeah, back to back. So I was just like, well, I can just give my friends back. So shout out to my boy Nathan. I was using your in perms, bro.
Oh.
Anyways, and then for the extra deck, so the extra deck stuff, it's kind of here nor there. There's like all the extra decks are the same except for like probably 3 or 4 cards. Like there's 3 or 4 cards you can switch out if you want. So I'm only playing 2 Dark Infants. So this card's absolutely ridiculous. It's a Link 1. So it's like Bay Links. You just need an Ignister monster for it. And then whenever it's special summon, you add the AI land from your deck to your hand. So it's like Bay Links, but it just grabs a field spell that actually does something. So that's nice. And then if a monster with 2300 attack, Cyber's monster 2300 attack, activates its effect, you can use this effect to, you can come down here, babe. You can move itself over 1 to wherever it points to. So like if it points here, you can move itself over 1, or if it points here, move it over 1, and then change its attribute, which is kind of important for the combo. So, and then I do play 1 Link Spider. So the Link Spider is shout out to my boy Lewis, dude, fan favorite. I need to buy an ulti. I don't know why I don't have an ulti one of these yet. But it's for when you get Nibiru. This deck is, you get Nibiru in this deck a lot of the time, but you play so many hand traps and stuff, you just don't really care that much. Like, there's been a couple times I actually bricked going first, and I didn't open, like, the combo starters, but it was, like, 2 droplet, Phantasme, Nibiru, Droll, and I was just like, alright, well, I'm lasting into turn 3 regardless, so it's not really a big problem, but this just kind of, if you have, that's why I play more Ignister names. Like, I play the 2 Earth ones, because I like having more Ignisters in my hand, so that way when you get Nibiru, you can turn the token into Link Spider, and then the AI land can still special to the main monster zone. Obviously, it's your attributes that you haven't special summoned already for the turn. So, and then 1 Cyrus Wicked. This kid. So this card's ridiculous. I wish this was a foil. It should be a foil. So it's got 2 pretty good errors. It's Link 2. Whenever this card's Link summoned, it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Anything it points to can't be destroyed by card effects. And then if you special summon a monster to its zone, you can banish a Cyber's monster from your graveyard to add a Cyber's tuner from your deck, which is part of the combo, which I will show you. So, and then 1 Splash Mage. I'm only playing 1. There's actually, sometimes you don't need this for the combo because we do play Security Dragon. And I know people that know Ignisters are probably just like, well, why is he playing Phantasme and Nibiru, dude? You need your main monster zone clear for when you play. It's because you play Security Dragon, so. I was playing 2 of these, but I am playing the 1 Security Dragon. It's just 2 monsters, so like, when you Nibiru or Phantasme them, if you go second, you can just turn your normal summon to Chi-Chi or whatever you normal summon. You can sit down here, right? And the Phantasme or the Nibiru or whatever into this just to clear your main monster zones, and then you can still link with this because this is a Cybers, so card's really good. Also, if it's co-linked, you can bounce a card on the board, so on your opponent's board. And then 1 Update Jammer. So this card's just obviously the nuts. So the main thing that you want to focus on with this card is gives whatever it linked off into 2 attacks, and that's not a hard once per turn at all. So as many times as this gets linked off, it gives monsters 2 attacks. So, and then the 1 Dark Templar. So this card has 2 effects. Whenever a monster is special summoned to its arrows, it special summons that many Ignister monsters from your graveyard and negates their effects. And also, if this kills a monster by battle, you can special summon back a Cyber's monster from your graveyard. So, like, I don't play 2 access codes. I actually was testing 2 access codes. I was testing 2 access codes, but I don't think the deck needs that. I think the deck just needs more. The cards do enough in general with all the hand traps you're playing. It's completely fine. So, and then 1 of the Fire Phoenix. Shout out to my boy Nathan Bourne, dude. He just loves this card. But you just keep this in your extra deck to reveal for the AI Michu, so you can add the Chi-Chi. This card never gets summoned, so it's a Link 3. It's not important. So 1 Transcode Talker. So this is an Earth 2300 attack. So you can reveal it for AI Michu and then add the Doshin or the Gachari. So this card's obviously nuts. So and then the 1 Access Code Talker. Like I said, I was playing 2 of these. You don't need to, in my opinion. And then the Arrival Cybers, the big boy, Link 6. Kind of sad this is a super. I kind of just wish it was a secret because it would have looked really good. Obviously, this card is just ridiculous. You can't. This card's garbage outside of this deck, but I will show you the combo with this. But it's you need 3+ monsters with different attributes. So, and then it gains 1,000 for each link material. It's unaffected by card effects, period. And then once during your turn, you can destroy an opponent's monster and then special summon a 0/0 token to one of the arrows it points to. So, and then the old boy, the Light Dragon. Shout out my boy Johnny, he just loves this card too. There was only a couple times this actually came up, but you keep it in the extra so you can reveal it off the AI Meet You to add the Picari if you have to. But it's just 2 level 4s. That's why the Picari makes one of the other dudes level 4, so you can XYZ into this. Then you can detach one material for this, and it destroys as many monsters your opponent controls as you do at Ignister monsters. So it's kind of the same thing, but backwards for the Wing Pegasus. Obviously, like I said, the Baruru is a tuner, so you can make this, and the Quantum Dragon, that's the last card I play. I actually play both. Some people play this, some people play this. I play both because we have the room, and I just like the way this was. So so this card, you can destroy as many spell and traps your opponent controls equal to the number of Ignister monsters you control. Also, if this is on the field or in the graveyard, if one of your dudes dies by battle or card effect, you can banish it, and it shuffles one of their cards back in. And then the Quantum Dragon, this card, if this card's face up while you have a link monster, your opponent can only attack this and can only target this with card effects, and then whenever this battles, it can bounce the monster that attacked or it attacked back to the back, and then it gets a second attack. So, card's absolutely ridiculous. I also do have, I'm going to show you the 2 combos real quick of going first and then going second, and then I want to show some honorable mentions that you could play if you want. Let me just separate these real quick. This. I think that's it. Just make sure. Yep, we're good. All right. Just gonna set this off to the side. All right, so for your hand, I'm gonna do the going first combo first. So obviously you have 4 cards in hand and the 1 card starter. Is the Achichi. It could be Picari as well. There's a different line of play you can use with Picari. It still gets you the same end result. So all you're going to do is normal summon the Achichi. When normal summon or special summon, it adds a Ignister monster from your deck to your hand. So you're going to add the Picari. Then you're going to link off the Achichi into the Dark Infant. Okay. Dark Infant, when it's link summoned, adds a land to your hand. Okay. So then you'll activate the AI land. Okay. I'm actually going to do this. Okay. So it's field center. And then now you have no main monster. You have nothing in your main monster zone, so you can special summon. So you special summon the light one. Okay, so you keep this in track. So you haven't special the fire. All you do is normal summon the fire. So you special the light one. This one adds a AI spell or trap from deck to your hand. So you're gonna add AI Meet You. Okay. Now you're gonna activate AI Meet You and reveal Dark Templar. Okay, so you can add a Ignister Dark from your deck to your hand. So we're gonna add the Doyon. Sorry. All these names are just like, alright, and then you're going to link these 2 off for the Wicked Kid. Okay. And you use the field spell, special summon the Doyon. Now, like I said earlier, when a card special summoned to this arrow, this will activate and you can banish an Cybers from your graveyard out of Cybers Tuner. So you're going to go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Doyon will add back the Achichi. And then Wicked will banish the Dark Infant to add Baruru. Okay. Now you're gonna link these 2 off into the boy Splash Mage. Where's he at? All right. So summon Splash Mage. Now use AI Land because you haven't special to wind yet with its effect. So you special summon Baruru. Baruru's effect will activate. And you'll send the Danmari to graveyard. Okay. Now you're gonna activate Splash Mage's effect. Switch something back to Doyon. Okay. Now you're going to link 3. So Wind, Dark, Water. Dark Templar. Okay. So this needs 3 monsters with different attributes. So, and then since you linked off the Doyon, you can add back the AI Meet You for next turn for another Rhoda play. Okay. Now we use the AI land. Like I said, remember you haven't special fire. You normal summon fire. So you're going to special summon the Achichi. Any zone except for these 3 right here, okay? Because you don't want to trigger this yet. So you're going to link this off into the second Dark Infant. Okay, and like I said, when monster is normal special summon to the zone, I think it's just special. I don't remember. This is just the combo. So this will special summon that many Ignisters with different to the zones to get their effects. But since a monster with 2300 attack activates its effect, Dark Infant will activate. So it'll be Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. So Dark Infant will move itself over and make itself divine. Okay? And then Dark Templar will special summon 3. So you don't want to get the Doyon here because you need different attributes. So you'll special summon the Baruru, the Achichi, and the Picari. Okay? Now, you're going to synchro these two for the Quantum Dragon or the Ignister, whatever, the Pegasus, whatever you want to do. And then since the Baruru was used for a synchro summon, it specials back one of the materials, so it specials back to Picari. Okay? And now you have Divine Archetype, or Divine Attribute, Light Attribute, Fire Attribute, and a Link 3 Dark. So that's 6. And you'll summon your boy, your rival Cyrus. Okay? So now this card's unaffected by card effects. Use 4 link materials. This is 4,000 attack. Your opponent can only target this or attack this with anything. Only attack this or target this with card effects, since you control a link monster. And you have the Dan Mari in graveyard. Since you have a link 6, you can banish this from your graveyard to negate any card effect. Okay, so that's pretty insane. Now I'm going to show you the going second combo. It's the same thing, but it's 19,700 damage, which is just kind of gross. Alright, and it's just the same exact scenario. Like I said, you don't need, the only thing that's different is you'll start with 6 cards instead of 5. So remember that whole combo that I did, you started with 1 card, so the other 4 cards and ain't gonna do anything. Now you're going second, so you probably would have hand trapped them, drolled them, whatever, fix your hand with, etc. So, alright, so once again, this is going second now, okay? Keep this in mind, going second. So your opponent's playing, blah, blah, blah. Probably have droplets or something, or eating a beer with them or whatever. So you're going to summon Chi-Chi, you're going to activate effects, and you're going to add the Picari to hand, okay? It's going to look similar until we hit a certain point. So we're going to link this off to the Dark Infant, okay? Dark Infant will add the AI Land. Now, you're going to activate AI Land, okay? Activate AI Land to special summon the Picari's effect. Once again, we'll add the Meet You, okay? And you're going to activate the I Meet You to reveal the Dark Templar. Okay, this is reveal the Dark, and you will search for your Doyon. Okay, now you're going to link these 2 off. And once again, you're going to go into the Cyrus Wicked. Okay, you're going to use the AI Land to special summon here. Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, like I did in the last combo. This will add back the Chi-Chi, because we have not special summoned it yet, and the Wicked will banish the Dark Infant to add the Baruru to hand. Okay, now, this is when you link these 2 off. So Splash Mage once again. Now, activate effects, special summon Baruru. Now, Baruru here, this is the only different line of play that you can pick on. You could actually do it a different way too. For some reason, I like to send, I'm still going to send this, even though you won't need it for this turn because it's a break. This card's always good to draw, but you could send this, and then there's a way to get it back, but you don't need to do that for this combo, I just want to point it out. So on summon, we're going to send the Dan Mari to graveyard. Okay. Then you Splash Mates. Special back to Doyon. 1, 2, 3. Dark Templar. Like I said earlier, you could have Doyon'd and added back the AI. So here we are again. Now, activates since you haven't special summoned the fire yet, like I said. Okay. Not to any of these 3 zones, just over here somewhere. And you're going to link this off with it. Dark Infant, once again, Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. This will move over and become Divine. This will special 3 back. 1, 2, and a Picari. Okay. Now, here's where things get a little different. Here, you're going to make these 2. Let's see. Yeah, synchro those 2 into the Quantum Dragon in attack mode. Okay. Now the Baruru will special summon back the Picari. Okay. And these 2 will link off into Update Jammer, okay? Update Jammer and the Dark Infant will link off into your boy Transcode. You want to activate the Update Jammer to give this card 2 attacks. Let me actually grab some dice real quick, like. Jeez, nice. Alright, so this has 2 attacks, okay? Now you're going to activate effect. Of course, bring back the Update Jammer. And just to point out here too, these are all co-linked, so these all gain 500 attack right now. But you're just going to link off the Templar. Yep. update jammer. To access code. Okay. You're going to activate update jammer as chain link 1, chain link 2 access code targeting the Dark Templar. So this will be 5800 instead of 53 because it's co-link, so 58, and it'll have 2 attacks. Let's see. Okay, so 2 attacks. And then the access code has 1 light pop, or 1 wind pop, 1 dark pop, and the water pop. So you have 3 pops with this, with the access code. Okay, go in second. This can attack twice. It's 2800. This is 5800, attacks twice, and this is 2500. So this is 19,700 damage with 3 pops. Just off the GG. The funny thing about this too is if you play Pot of Prosperity, it halves damage your opponent takes. You can actually still do over 8,000 if you Prosperity in this deck. So it's just absurd. I mean, this deck's just so crazy. Like, if you put in the time to learn it, it took me a couple days to get this deck down. I was just kind of like, oh, I like my ratios. I like, you know, everything that's going on with it. So, and obviously these aren't targetable because they're co-links. So, and since I control links, you can only target this, regardless. Even though you're on second, doesn't really matter. But yeah, guys. So you get what I'm saying. Plus, I don't know if you noticed this too, but you still have 6 cards in hand. One is the AI meet. So these other ones could droplets, you know, imperm, whatever for the going second. So yeah, guys, I mean this deck's just absurd. I am going to show you the quick honorable mentions, just real quick, and cards you could play if you wanted to, just in case you don't like my ratios or anything like that. So so for the extra deck, you can play a 3rd Infant if you want. It just never came up for me. You can play the Lingeribo if you want, if you're afraid of like the traps or whatever. 2nd Splash Mage, I actually cut the 2nd Splash Mage for the Cyber's Security Dragon because I was playing the hand traps at some of themselves. You can also play a 2nd Transcode Talker. This, for a while, the Avermax was my 2nd access code, and then I just realized I never really summoned it, so I just cut it in case you want to play it. Also, I want to point this out too. So there's actually a build of this deck where you can make the Firewall Dragon with the co-linked with. There's like a combo where you do this, and then, or is it? I think it's this. So there's a combo where you do this. I'm just not playing this build. I just think the one I have right now is a lot better. In the future, I could profile this one. I just think it's a lot weaker compared to like the Transcode and stuff. This card's nuts. Obviously, Firewall Dragons, you know, it's pretty good. It's here nor there. But I mean, we're playing a Cyber's deck, so I guess that's something. But and then for the main deck, the other cards you could play, I actually was playing Red Reboot and Harpy's Feather Duster in the main deck. This for Imperm and going second for traps. This just, you know, for anything. So then I was playing 3rd Reborn, realized you did not need it. And then the last Ignister monster was the 1 High RA. So this card's kind of cool. You can't search it though because you don't play any of the Water 2300 monsters for like the AI meet you. But this card, if you control a Cybers, it just special summons itself, just like the Doshin does. But you can tribute a monster to add a level 4 or higher Cybers monster, I think. I didn't do a whole lot of testing with this. I just realized I never drew it and didn't really need it. But it was nice to have the extra attribute when I would get Nibiru, so I could use the AI line to play through the Nibiru after I turn into Link Spider and keep going. So it was nice, though. And its other effect doesn't come up because you don't play the Ignister ritual monsters. So, but yeah, guys. I hope you like this profile. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed it or not, and what you're thinking. I've got some other stuff coming up. Wednesday's upload is going to be kind of wild. I hope you guys enjoy that. It's a deck I've been meaning to do for a while. So, without further ado, guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.